Alright, gamers, we are here. I have to post. Come on, Blue Sky, you can do it. There we go. We are here. Time to start the music. There we go. Alright, gamers, how you doing? I didn't change a card. It's hard to find. I'm not even sure what I would change. I think like the one real change that like I want to make is I would like to find room for one Fairy Macabre for Reanimator, because I think it like the one copy is pretty valuable as a recruiter target in that matchup. But I don't know. Sideboard feels kind of tight. I think the Disruptor Flute's probably the most cuttable card, but I've been a lot happier with that card than I expected to be. So come on, there we go. All right, we're gonna hang out a little bit for people to show up, and we'll get going. There's a Legacy showcase this weekend. Interesting. Pretty sure that I have a truly pitiful number of QP. Yeah, 8. Yeah, cool. Not happening. Oh, neat. Okay. Oh no. There we go. That's better. Thank God for you giving up Ketramos. Yeah, it's definitely not feeling like that card is Legacy playable. Apparently it's good in Modern. I have no basis on which to tell anybody otherwise, but it is. It really doesn't feel like a Legacy card. One other way I could maybe fit in a Fairy Macabre is if I could do something weird like go down to 3 Flicker Wisps and put like a Path to Exile in the main. Then like the second path could be a Fairy Macabre. I could kind of see that. Um, goodness. Alright, we have another minute or two and then we'll hop in. Main deck Cabal Therapy, it's just a me thing. Um, so the way that I landed on this list specifically is kind of a there's like a multi-step journey. It started with a normal Phelia Overlord list, and me really just wanting to stop play Phelia because Phelia is just could never make that card good for me. That mostly involved cutting Phelias to get up to um, the fourth White Orchid Phantom, the fourth Bowmasters, and then maxing out on Flicker Wisps so that you still have a decent number of copies of cards that can cheat out Overlord. Um, as I found myself not really liking Overlord without Phelia either, I then kind of cut the Overlords and looked at it from the aspect of like, well, at that point, I am literally just an Overlord list. Like the only difference between that Overlord list and my normal black white list was one has 4 moms and one has 4 overlords. So I basically, instead of putting the moms back in, just started looking at other mostly cheap cards to try to play. So that's where the 2 Cabal Therapies, the Lauren of the Third Path, and then one of these other cards. I don't remember exactly which one it was. That's kind of the journey that this list took to get to this point where I'm playing main deck therapies. It also just kind of frees up space in the sideboard. I am a Phelia hater. White Orchid Phantom is, I don't want to say it's good, it's fine. I think it is the best. I think it's pretty solidly the third best 2-drop that you can play in most Death and Taxes lists. It a lot of times is basically just going to be a 2/2 flying first strike, but when it's good, it's very good, and I would say in a lot of cases is better than Spirit or Thalia in some of the matchups where you would still want those cards for. A good example would be like against Oops. I'm not totally sure I want Thalia over White Orchid Phantom. It's kind of close there. If you look at like Mystic Forge, White Orchid Phantom is better than Thalia because they're a 0 basic deck that plays lands that can tap for 3+ mana. Yeah, I think the floor of it being a flying first strike 2/2 means that it's often pretty comparable, if not better than the other cards when they're bad. So yeah, I don't love it by any means, but I think it's a good card in bad matchups pretty consistently. So it's good enough for me. Hop in. Also, it is a card with Richard Kane Ferguson art, which I am very partial to. I have the alternate art foils in paper, so it does wear equipment well. And yeah, part of why I think White Orchid Phantom is definitely correct in the Phelia Overlord lists is that sort of a key component of White Orchid Phantom in the matchups where it's not very good because your opponent has 1, 2, even 3 or more basics, is that White Orchid Phantom gets better the more times you White Orchid because your opponent gets fewer and fewer basics to get off of it. And Phelia and Overload both sort of facilitate resolving multiple White Orchid Phantom triggers, either flickering ones you already have or digging for extra copies, things like that. And the 2 formal wear in my deck also But the 2/4 are in my deck. Part of why I like 4 Wisp is that um, a curve of White Orchid Phantom into Flicker Wisp is pretty nice too. Um, so yeah. We have a Yorion Mirror and my opponent's double queuing Modern. That's insane. This hand's kind of mid. I'm going to keep it though. What kind of Yorion deck do you have? Basically no Yorion decks are playable other than DNT, so... Got it. We're on the same page. Oh, a new to Moto Modern League. Okay, that's different. I'm just gonna chill. He's gonna. That's Phelia. Oh, I maybe should have. Probably should have played Caracas there actually. I was thinking they can only have Bowmasters, but no, they literally can have Phelia because that's gonna be in most decks that aren't mine. It's gonna be an Overlord. It's a Recruiter of the Guard. Okay, I can live with this. Let's see. What do you get? Stoneforge is probably correct. I'm going to let them attack because this Bowmaster can kill the Recruiter when they target it, and then I'll just double block, and we will be gaming. I would like to state, I know that the mirror isn't what people play Phelia for, but it is situations like that that continue to affirm why I really don't like Phelia. So my opponent's going to play Stoneforge. I think I'm just going to let them do that and... Yeah. This is not better to play out Caracas here. I should have played out Caracas the previous turn. This time I want to play Marsh Flats specifically to surveil. Because my hand is a little bit proactive for someone who's about to be casting a Stoneforge that, if they are smart, is going to be getting a pre-war formal wear. So what's that Savannah for? Yep, formal wear. It's probably fatigue. I'm just surprised that someone's trying to do that. Ooh. Yeah, I would like my Stoneforge. That's pretty much exactly what I wanted. This is actually sick too, because I can play Stoneforge, get Sash, cast Sash, and hold up a basic planes. Possible punish if they have a Cauldron in their hands, but what you gonna do about that, I think. Sashir feels pretty good. If we have Cauldron, we're most likely just taking 5 and then wisping the token. It's just that it'll start looking a little concerning when this Yorion comes down the line. I guess if they have a swords, then this doesn't really do much, does it? I guess I can... So I think I want to target the Phelia, because if they want to get the Phelia back, they have to do it now, and they don't get immediate value off of it. Yeah, them just letting it happen makes complete sense. What do I want to do here? I think... I just want to wisp my Stone Forge. Yeah, let's wisp Stone Forge. Yeah, thinking back, I think when I had the Sash, I was probably just supposed to exile the Recruiter right away. Formal wear isn't that great. I think I just want to get a Phantom Blade here. It's either Phantom Blade or Cauldron. I'm gonna get a Phantom Blade. Yep. Skyclave. Okay, that's fine. Just a Phelia? Sure. Get out of here. casting the Skyclave pre-combat? They are. Okay. Getting Stoneforge, that makes sense. So you do have Cauldra. I guess maybe they have Phantom Blade here. We'll see. Nope, you just have Cauldra. Gross. So I just want to get game objects off the board. So I'm going to Swords the Germ token. I'm going to block the Recruiter. And then I'm going to untap. I'm going to Witch Enchanter the Formal Wear, so we at least don't have to worry about that in the long run. Yeah, I'm going to cast... Yeah, so Witch Enchanter the Formal Wear. I'll play a Plains. They're 1 mana off of equipping Cauldra, so I am going to get rid of this. So another hand is Phelia, and then 3 other cards. Okay, they are about to ramp me, so I'll take that. Yeah, okay, they just drew so much gas. That isn't right, but okay. It's definitely supposed to just reset Cauldra. What do they even have left? It's just Sash at this point, right? Or, no, they still have Phantom Blade, yeah. What do I want to do here? None of the options are really that good. I don't. White Orchid's the only one I definitely don't want to get rid of. Skyclaves gives me another body. Stoneforge means they have to spend their whole turn to cast a Phantom Blade next turn. Getting the Flicker Wisp means that their eventual Yorion will be a little bit worse. I'm gonna go for Stoneforge. And unfortunately, I think I just have to Wasteland again. Maybe I don't. I guess if we assume they're spending their turn casting Phantom Blade next turn, maybe that's fine. So I'll just pass. I guess no, we have to Wasteland because Cauldron is still here. That's what we have. That's why. I guess I'll get rid of Savannah. I doubt their green card comes in this matchup if they even. I mean, it's probably in their sideboard, and I doubt it comes in for this matchup, whatever it is. But just in case. Keep a card on top, naturally. I just want you to put Yorion into your hands and then for me to draw a Cabal Therapy. That's all I'm asking. It doesn't seem like that crazy of an ask. Nope, that's not it. I'm not... yeah, we'll just concede. Yep, not happening that time. I will bring in these cards. I'm going to cut the White Orchid Phantoms. And probably the second Formal Wear. Everything else is pretty good. I could see kind of trimming a Wisp, but that's usually good. Especially against an Overlord build, I think I want to keep Sash in my deck. I could... Notably against the Overlord builds, Bowmaster is kind of whatever. They don't have moms to kill. It's basically, it's a removal spell for Recruiter and very little else. So maybe I just trim one Bowmasters and keep both Formal Wears in. Yeah, I'll try that. The second Formal Wear gets more value because we have 2 therapies in our deck. Hijacks. This is like very similar to the last hand. But we don't have Caracas for Phelia. Disruptor Flute is very whatever. I'm only feeling like pretty good about it if my opponent casts a Stoneforge. I'm gonna try it. I definitely don't love this hand. I guess if they play Vile, then Flute is also nice for that. I am going to backstreet right away because we don't want to land. Solitude I will keep. Solitude's good. That's the kind of card that I wanted to have in the previous game. looks like a Stoneforge is happening. Or they're just going to White Orchid Phantom my Shadowy Pack Street if they want to. Oh, no, it's an Overlay. That makes sense. Yeah. That's the other 2-drop they can play. Stoneforge or Solitude. Okay. They have a Stoneforge in their hand now, so I am still going to flute Stoneforge. I could also Bowmasters for clock and then flute next turn, but I think I'm more interested, honestly, in fluting and then wisping my back street. Oops. Did I say fluting my back street? Because I meant wisping my back street. I don't know if that's what I said, but of course. Immediately draw Stoneforge Mystic. Well, I can pitch it to Solitude. Yes, please. Removal, good. Of course they have a Wisp for the Overlord. God. Everything's going wrong for me in like the exact ways I really need them to not go wrong. Solitude, Skyclave, Phelia. They mill their Savannah, so if their green card is for this matchup, and I'm guessing it's not, they can't do it now. Maybe they get Skyclave. They get Solitude. Okay. Well, this is one of the things I can kill with Bowmasters, so I'll do that now. Okay. Vial resolves. Plains is great because it means that we can Solitude. Yeah, we're just gonna attack all. Interesting. If they're just gonna eat my Bowmasters, that's totally fine with me. If they're turning off their Aether File, yeah, deal. I'm totally fine with that. Okay. come on. I would like to draw a discard spell. I think my density of discard spells is one of the best things that I get in this match, with my specific build in this matchup, and I just really want to draw them. I think I just have to Stoneforge for a Phantom Blade here. I really don't have any other options. Maybe I was supposed to trade with the Containment Priest with my Solitude once they got the Phelia. Yeah, I was probably supposed to do that. Is this Solitude? Okay. Well, they didn't leave the Caracas up, so I assume this is about to cast the Swords to Plowshares. But maybe I'm wrong. Oh no. Oh no. I had a bad feeling when they cast that Solitude pre-combat that they were going to do that. Oh no. Friendo. They just swords their... That's not... Okay, you got it. Okay, then, indeed. Okay, well, I was going to cast Phantom Blade. Now I might Skyclave because it lets me put Yorion in my hand at the same time. Which is like a form of double spelling. I still know that Stoneforge is one of the cards in their hand. which is probably a good reason to get this Phelia out of here. Stoneforge. If they have a 7th mana, they could go for Cauldra. They have okay targets for a formal wear. Not like amazing, but probably good enough. They could also Phantom Blade. I think I need to get Yorion in my hand to go over the top because I can't, because I'm struggling. So, oh my god, they F6? I mean, I guess I still have to kill this Phelia, but like, I guess they probably F2'd is the reality. Or zeroed, so they're gonna put in Stoneforge end of turn. I think this is probably all right though. But that could have been very risky for them if I drew another removal spell so that I could what the okay, I guess. I think I would have put the Stoneforge in if I were them, but I guess I guess they get to do this if they know how to stack this. Then they can just put the Stoneforge in now. Yeah, okay. This is a pretty good form. Oh, they're Phantom Blading. Phantom Blade also is probably fine. Yeah. Yeah, man, this is really going rough for me. I hate losing the mirror. Sure. Put Yoron in your hands. So you don't get to Phantom Blade. So you're probably soliding the Flicker Wisp here. Yeah, okay. Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize or Thought Therapy. Therapy. Cabal Therapy. God. Okay. I guess Phantom Blade, the Solitude, and then we get to Yorion, the Phantom Blade, the turn after that, and hopefully it's good enough. We at least get to attack here, actually. It's pretty nice. I'll be right back, chat. I'm back, gang. Alright, my opponent gets to surveil another time before I do, which is a little sad. Let's see what they get. They put a Wrath of the Skies into their graveyard. That makes sense. Okay. Cast Yorion, flicker a Stoneforge. If I can manage to steal this game, okay, then we might honestly be in a pretty good spot because my opponent will not have the time to win a third game. Alright, come on. Discard spell, please. I have 6 of them in my deck and I haven't seen one yet. Come on. Does that doesn't really let me do anything that Yorion doesn't already, so so I'm definitely casting my Yorion. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do after that. I'm flickering these 2 cards. I'm trying to figure out if I'm fluting Vile or Karakas, because if I flute Vile, they have to spend mana to cast the Yorion, but that doesn't really do anything. If I flute Karakas, it means that we basically get to trade our Yorions, which is maybe just not good enough for me. Yeah, I'll name Vile, and we'll get rid of the Stoneforge. So that means their Yorion is worse because they can only flicker the Phantom Blade. We can protect our Yorion with our Karakas. If we draw a Wasteland, then things blow up. This is also honestly a pretty good strat for playing to the clock. Oh yeah, that's true. Any land is good because we get to double block, or we get to earth and double block. Jesus, we get to cast both of our cards. They just pass. So they must have Solitude up. Right, yeah. Wisp their Karakas is good enough, close enough to wastelanding it, yeah. Alright, so they must be holding up a Solitude here. But that's kind of okay because they have to cast it in combat because they're at 4, so Or no, I'm stupid. They have Crocus. Right, that's how this works. I'm just going crazy. Um, so I think I still want to leave the Wisp in my hand, right? Yeah, I do want to leave the Wisp in my hand, especially because I want to untap. I want to use the Wisp on the Crocus on a turn where their Yorion is in play, and I also get some value out of keeping this Marsh Flats here because I get to surveil. Overlord. Okay. Lots of things that get hit with that Overlord. They have a Flicker Wisp. They find a Recruiter. They mill their Formalware, which is pretty important because I think that means their Stone Forges are basically dead. They can get a Cauldron, but that's not really relevant here. Oh, there was a Solitude. I missed it. Okay. The log says they got a Solitude. I must have missed it in the list of cards. So the hand is Yorion, Solitude, and then 2 cards I don't know about. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's. Yeah, the only Phelias we knew about have been actually answered, not just bounced with Caracas. But it's kind of looking like we're going to win this on clock. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. What do I actually want to cast here? I think I'm just casting the Flicker Wisp. I think I'm just wisping one of my Surveil lands here, because I feel like this is a turn where I want a double spell, and casting the Yorion here basically doesn't do anything. Um, so Wisp leaves me with mana up while putting a threat that can kill them into play, and I get to Surveil. So that seems good enough for me. Yeah, what are they doing? What's going on? Just wasted more time when they're out of clock. No more lands, thank you. Yeah, this is only game 2. Welcome to the mirror, but my opponent's less well versed in it, or they're just not as used to Magic Online. I don't know. They've been taking just way too long on their game actions for the mirror, unfortunately, for them. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana in play. And I lost a couple minutes to outing my dog. Yes. Solitude resolves. Okay. And then the last card in here, or there's Yorion plus something else. So I will go ahead and cast this Solitude. think I just want to get their Solitude. Just keep making their Yorion worse. Yeah, I mean, there's 22 seconds left, so I don't really have to think about it too hard. They have a swords? Alright, sure. Sure. I am literally begging for a discard spell, but I'll take it. Hello? Go on the stack. There we go. And they have timed out. I'm curious. They can't draw a card. Never mind. Alright, well. Okay, sure. If I had drawn... I think the 10 most critical cards in that matchup, but I drew none of them either of those games, but that's okay. I guess 14, because I didn't draw Vial either. I didn't draw Vial, discard spells, or Recruiter, and all of those are like the backbone of the matchup in the mirror, so rip me. It stands a little, certainly land heavy, but we'll try it. We can use this wasteland a little bit liberally if we need to. Playing fast is sometimes better than having good cards. I don't like most Once Upon a Time matchups, but we'll see which one this is. Windswept Heath. I think I'm okay with whatever Once Upon a Time matchup this is. You're going to play a Reclaimer? No, Green Sun for Arbor. Yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, I don't need more lands, please. Please. Probably the worst case scenario is this is Nadu. Looks like it is Cradle, though. It is Cradle. Unfortunately, this hand can't really beat their draw, because it's just all lands and no spells that cost 1 mana, so rip us. Right on time, Vial. Alright, well, I'll get Cauldron. They do have some trouble beating a Cauldron pre-board. They have Talon Gates of Madara to push through some damage, but they don't really have like a way to keep me from getting the Cauldron into play, which is kind of important, so. And this turn, I'm probably just going to Thoughtseize to make sure we don't get natural ordered, and then I'll put Cauldron into play as a blocker. Oh, they have Cradle. Okay, they have Natural Order just getting cast anyway. They just have a Collector Roof, yeah. I will not be casting Thoughtseize. I'm probably going to cast Gaia's Cradle. Or cast Gaia's Cradle, Jesus. Probably going to Wasteland the Gaia's Cradle. I also think it's unhinged a little bit to be off hoof, but that's what Newton says, so. I guess there's not really a reason to Wasteland the white, because they can just... Oh my god, Wasteland the Cradle, because they can kind of trivially use white to get another Cradle. So I guess if I'm Wastelanding, I have to do it in their upkeep. Is this coming to play tapped? I don't remember. Yeah, just coming to play tapped. I feel like the last card in their hand is almost certainly a land. So I don't think that I want to spend that mana Thoughtseizing. But it'll be really annoying if I'm wrong about that. But I don't see a whole... I guess because I don't see a whole lot of value in Wastelanding, I should probably just Thoughtseize and make sure I spend as much mana as possible. Okay. Cool. Green Sun Zenith is a very good thing to have gotten rid of. Okay. Yeah, that's part of it. I also just feel like there's a lot of matchups. I shouldn't say a lot of matchups. I feel like there's, especially when your Atraxa can't draw you into a Force of Will, it feels like there's a lot of matchups where you will like put an Atraxa into play, draw 4 cards or whatever, and then just die. Which is why it feels like you should have Hoof in your deck so you can kill the people who are trying to kill you. Because I don't know. I've never played this deck. I truly will never understand Cradle Control. It's never a deck that's really made sense to me. So I'm probably wrong, but like that's my perspective. Is I feel like you want your Natural Order to win the game, and if it can only get Atraxa, it doesn't really. Thanks for the legacy content explaining your thought process. Very new to the format, so it helps. I am very happy to hear that. It's it's what it's all about. It's a I want to make this an educational experience more so than just playing games for the sake of it. I really don't need to draw more lands. I'm gonna say that right now. So they can white for a Talon Gates to phase out my Germ. I think what we want to do is just Wasteland the lair so that they can only attack with the white and nothing else. And then I just realized one problem with that idea is they can just animate the lair and safekeeper it. So I'm going to start by trying to wisp the safekeeper and see what they do. I'll get rid of it. I think if they had protected the Safekeeper, I think the play is we just keep the Wasteland up but don't activate it. We just activate it in response to them trying to animate layer because actually I should double check something. Can Talongate save this? If that's true, I don't think that I care that much. But let me double check. If it's just any creature. Yeah, up to one target creature. Okay. I think I'm actually okay with that because if they have to Talon Gates to save the layer, that means they can't Talon Gates my Cauldron, which means they still can't attack me. So I think I'm actually okay if they choose to do that. Because if they are on Newton's latest list, I believe he also only has one Talon Gates in his list when he used to have two, which makes it pretty simple to just play through the first one and then figure things out later. Interesting. Getting rid of the Dryad Arbor. I feel like again, I don't know anything. I feel like I would not have gotten rid of one of my lands when like Safekeeper is like really important for keeping this white in play, but we'll see. Yeah, get rid of Stoneforge. I'm just gonna do something annoying every turn. Yep. Like I said, Kaldra just kind of ends up winning the game sometimes. Just put it in play and they can't attack through it. That certainly changes some, but also not everything because it really gives them an attack. So, let's recruit. I'm kind of tempted to just recruit a Bowmasters for the sake of double spelling. Yeah. I think if I should have thought ahead to this because I would rather have the Arid Mesa in my hand to get a Surveil later if I was doing this, but I think it's still right to do it. So, oops. I need that step for black. There we go. So yeah, they're running out of lands, as you can see. I mean, running out. All their creatures can become lands if they need it, but they're kind of point is they're kind of spinning their wheels right now. They don't really have a long-term plan as of this moment. Okay. And next turn I get to put Yorion in my hand, and then things look even worse. I'm probably going to chump with something here. Just to be safe. Because this could go up to... They could go up to 8/8. Bowmasters is probably the least important one here. It's either Bowmasters or Recruiter. I think I'll chub with a Recruiter. Yeah. All right. Good job. You did no damage. Interesting. That is, it's slightly real because it might allow me to get another Bowmaster trigger, which would be kind of funny. I don't know if I even want to bother attacking with Wisp here. I think I'd actually like to. Or I guess, right, they can't attack with white this turn anyway, so I think I was supposed to attack with Wisp, but the game should be over next turn with Yorion either way. Are they about to cast Atraxa from their hands? They sure are. That was probably the biggest reason to keep Recruiter in play, because it would give me access to a Solitude. Okay, they do have Hoof in their deck. Alright, so they kept Cradle, Hierarch, and Wind. Or no, Noble Hierarch, Natural Order, Windswept Youth. So the hand is Hierarch and Natural Order. Oh, again, they got Natural Order, so they just have me. Okay. That is it's a lot of damage. 20, yeah, we're dead. I guess I'm blocking 18 really, so I would need 2 more toughness to get through to the next turn. Bummer. I'm gonna cut White Orchid Phantoms. I don't want Loran here. I think I'm happy to trim 1 Wisp and 1 Therapy, maybe? I probably want Therapy over Sash, actually. Yeah, that looks good to me. Yep, we'll roll with it. I finally draw discard spells. And yet. Okay, I can keep this. I'll just keep this and put the formal wear on the bottom. I'm going to start with Cage off of Wasteland. Yeah, because that'll essentially Thoughtseize any Green Sun Zeniths that they might cast on turn 1. You're supposed to cast that after your draw step, but okay. You got it. All right. What do you got over there? You have your own Thoughtseize, but no way to cast it right now. A Collector Reef that does nothing, a second Reclaimer, and I'm barely afraid of the first one. So it's between Scythecat, Cub, and the Thoughtseize. They can't cast the Thoughtseize right now. I think I just take the Scythecat Cub. Yeah. Looks good to me. Yeah. Reclaimer. They play Cradle. Hold up Reclaimer. Yep. Okay. Stoneforge for... What do I Stoneforge for? If I'm casting Stoneforge, I'm probably getting Phantom Blade, although I could get Cauldra. But I don't really want either of those to get Thoughtseize, which means that it might sort of force me into leaving up the Wasteland instead of the Swords if they're like going to Reclaimer the Forest into a Bayou or something like that. And there's a lot of ways that just goes poorly for me because it's not like they're short. It's not like they're that short on black sources in their deck. But I guess if I Stoneforge for Phantom Blade, it doesn't really matter if they Thoughtseize me because all of my cards kind of do the same thing. So maybe that's the way that I just don't really care about this Thoughtseize. Yeah. Yeah. You got it. I guess I probably just Swords now, maybe. Um, Maybe not. Yeah, I guess I've already made the argument that like the whole point is that all my cards kind of do the same thing. I don't really want to use the Swords on an Elvish Reclaimer. They take the Solitude. Interesting. That's I think the card I am most happy for them to take because it's the hardest to use when I'm only on 3 cards and 3 mana. I think this only really makes sense if they're about to... Okay. If they're about to snuff out my Stoneforge, is what I was about to say, and then they beat me to it. Do I put Yorion in my hand here? I think I do. Yeah, because it opens up the curve of like swords this turn into Phantom Blade into Yorion Phantom Blade. I think it's an important sequence to have. Like I want to make sure that drawing a land is like really good. I guess it drawing a land's going to be good either way, but okay. They sack the Talon Gates. What do they get? Lair of the Hydra, maybe? Oh, they selected Dryad Arbor. Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. This board is definitely a little bit scary. Hope we draw a land. Do we have to kill a Reclaimer and just hope that we draw a land? I think the answer is no. I'm pretty sure we have to kill the white and just take 6 this turn. We have 2 draws to hit our 5th land. And there's a lot of draws that aren't a land that will at least buy us time, if not also answer an Elvish Reclaimer. Perfect. Just the collector roof? Yeah, cool. Yes, I will. Do I want to leave up Caracas or do I want to Wasteland? Wastelanding Bayou is pretty similar to leaving up Caracas because it means they can't snuff out. Yeah, I'm gonna Wasteland Bayou, I think. Oh no, we've been bogged. And they scoop. Alright, cool. Cage is really good in the... it's funny, I guess Cage kind of didn't do anything. It did because that Dryad Arbor mattered, but like that was kind of just a misplay on their part. But if they could have put a Dryad Arbor into play that turn, that would have been a little bit iffy, so... But it was nice to not feel stressed out going into those later turns. can roll with this. It's a little clunky, but it'll work. Opponent's mulliganing into 5, so I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, I am... Oh, never mind. Okay, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I'm going to therapy naming white over the reliquary. Now I'm less sure. I might still do that, but with a hierarch in play, there's definitely more cards that could get a 2-drop into play because they could green sun this turn now. But given that they mulled to 5, this therapy won't have much to do this game if we don't cast it right away, but maybe that's fine. Because we do have a lot of removal now. And it is pretty enticing to play this Aether Vial. I think, yeah, I'm just going to play the Vial. It would be really nice to snipe something with Therapy, but I think that's just a little too risky in a hand that doesn't need to take that kind of risk. It's just kind of like we're rolling the dice on, do they have Green Sun, or do they have Scythe Cat Cub, or do they have white? If they didn't play Ignoble Hierarch, then I would have just named white over the Reliquary, and I would have been okay with that. Well, now that they haven't played a 2-drop at all, I'm naming Natural Order. Yeah, okay. That was almost too obvious. Oh. With this much removal in my hands, too, I think I'm going to go ahead and swords this Ignoble Hierarch. Just make sure they can't top deck a Natural Order and ruin my day. It's funny, I was just about to I was thinking of Vile in Stoneforge, get Formal Wear, Flashback Therapy, cast Formal Wear, get Stoneforge again. Now I'm a little bit more into... I'm probably just holding up Stoneforge at this point, right? Well, I guess they can snuff it out at any point. So, do I want to... Yeah, I think I'm gonna Stoneforge for Lion Sash, maybe? Oh, right, Sash isn't in my deck. Never mind. I'm going to get Phantom Blade. This might seem weird. I'm going to name Natural Order again. The fact that they did not cast another spell again is kind of suspicious. So it's either Natural Order or another land, or it's a second Snuff Out. Got it. Okay. I guess going for the level 1 play of just name the card you know about would have been pretty good for me there. Since they have 2 Snuff Outs, I'm just going to get another Formal Wear. Interesting they have Snuff Out and Thoughtseize. I think that's pretty standard nowadays. I think it's hard to play a deck like that without having Thoughtseize in your deck. And Snuff Out's been pretty standard in Cradle for a long time. High Cauldra. Well, that's the last... Well, I'm not commenting him, but yeah, from my perspective, I have a hard time imagining not bringing in both, but I don't know what the answer is on what you cut. You certainly cut endurances. Past that, I'm less sure. This is kind of annoying because now this Formal Wear is not drawing me a card. I think I'm just going to hold up my mana now. Alright. Okay. Pitch force on my stuff. Okay. That makes sense. It's annoying, but it makes sense. Okay. Sure. I'll just keep drawing cards that are now blank. I would love to find nothing, get snuffed out. Okay, Thoughtseize and Snuff Out and Force of Vigor seems like a lot. That's like 10 cards. Almost all of which are reactive in a sense. I don't know. Feels like a bit much when they have to be the aggressor. Alright. Scythecat Cub and my Stoneforge Mystic gets snuffed out again. So I have Scythecat Cub and something else. Got it. The third snuff out. Oh my god. Chill. I would love... Yeah, that's great. So what I can do here is... just sorcery speed, Phantom Blade, the Hierarch. It's far from the scariest card ever, but it's just a kind of low commitment way to keep Natural Order from being a card they can cast off the top. That's an annoying Thoughtseize, but honestly, I would rather they Thoughtseize now so that I can put Yorin in my hand a little more safely. Or I'll just do that. That works too. I really don't want to get another Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, there we go. Wouldn't it be better to Solitude the Pressure since they're so low? Yeah, I guess at that point it's probably the same, right? Because they're gonna they have to sorcery speed everything that they're doing anyway. So we don't get a whole lot from holding our mana up when they're just gonna flip over the top card of their deck and put it into play in their first main phase regardless. So yeah, probably just better to cast Solitude. I think they're more or less dead at that point, so it doesn't really matter. But if they had let me resolve that, if they had let me resolve the Recruiter, I was going to get Containment Priest, just for the record. Dimir Delver matches up with what I last saw this person playing. This hand is very basic heavy and has Vile, but it's on the draw and it's a little bit clunky. I'm going to try it. I wouldn't be surprised if this hand just gets totally smushed. Well, in one sense it's Thoughtseize proof, in another it is very much not. We'll see. I would rather they Thoughtseize me than cast a Delver on turn 1, so... Alright. You got a Barrogoyf, or are you not putting a threat into play? We'll see. Hell yeah. Oh, I should have played a Prismatic Vista. That was silly. I'm playing the wrong land a lot today. I don't know what's up with that. You got a Murktide, you got a Barrogoyf over there or something like that. Oh, got it. Your hand is poopy garbage. Understood. Okay. Do you have a Reanimate? Resolves. All right, what direction do I want to go with this? I'm going to cast the Recruiter because I know it's going to resolve. What else do I want to do? Let's see. So I don't think there's a real need to kill the troll right away. I think we can at least take a hit. I think that I don't want to get Wisp to flicker the Recruiter because then they can push the Recruiter and then we're not really getting anywhere. Um, I'm more interested in maybe like I think what I'm actually going to do is put Yorion in my hand, let them attack us for 6, recruit for Stoneforge for Phantom Blade, something like that. Um, and then we get to really put the screws to him next turn potentially, especially if we draw a white card. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we really get to dunk on them now that we know they don't have a blue card for their Force of Will. Yep, we're just gonna go Stoneforge. Stoneforge for... I could Stoneforge for Lion's Ash here. That wouldn't be totally crazy. I'm just going to Stoneforge for Formal Wear. That'll be good basically forever. Take up to 3 and 4. I'm just going to sorcery speed this Solitude on the troll. Yep. And I think they see the writing on the wall, knowing that Yorion and Pre-War Formal Wear are two of the cards in our hands. There is no way out. They are super dead. I'm going to bring in Containment Priest since they are a Reanimate deck. We'll cut the Lauren, the Cauldra, and a Therapy. I would really like to cut both, but I don't think that just Reanimates is a good enough reason to go all the way to like Grafdigger's Cage. So I think we'll just roll with this, and this will be fine. Three Caracas, huh? I mean, Stoneforge is good, and Skyclave's a pretty good answer, and this deck might have Tamiyo in it. I feel like it's hard to fit Tamiyo and Troll and Delver all into the same deck, but we'll see. I'm guessing this is a Swamp Cycle. No, it's not a Swamp Cycle. Okay. Okay. They will never wasteland my Caracas. Damn it. But the hand seems to be very reactive, which I'm also cool with. So I'm just going to play around days because they're not giving me a reason not to. Yes, I would love a recruiter. Thank you. Bummer. Goodbye, Stoneforge. Do I try to cast Recruiter? I feel like it's almost certainly going to get dazed, so if I'm doing anything, I'm putting Yorion into my hands. They've already cast two Thoughtseizes, so it feels like a little more safe than usual to do that this early. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I might have to get a basic swamp here, just because we only have one black source. And we have, what, 9.5 black cards? And maybe not. Maybe I just don't care about that. Now that I've gotten a plans, I'm sure I'm going to draw a Thoughtseize and really want to cast it. But they haven't wastelanded us yet, so... And they've missed... They missed one land drop. We'll see if they miss another. They do. Alright. Man, what's going on over there? Another land? No. Well, they're not going to wasteland my Caracas ever, so I'm just going to Lotus Petal one of them to cast a Recruiter. Consign? Sure. Yep. Murktide? Okay. Alright, that's a little concerning. I feel like they're probably sitting on a force. But they don't know about the swords, so we'll see what happens. And I have a Solitude, hell yeah. Cool. That worked. White Orchid Phantom would actually be pretty sick here. Get to get to essentially crop rotate my Caracas into a basic swamp. Still nothing, man. That's a heater. They like have to force that, don't they? If they have a force, obviously. Which it looks like they don't. Okay. Turn 7. Can you get your second threat into play? Apparently not. What is happening? And they shuffle off the ponder and pass. Oh my god. Dang it, they found the third thought. Jeez. I guess for that many cantrips, it only makes sense. Where's my one of Emperor Bones? So I can get this Yorion back later. Taking Solitude makes me guess they are about to Murktide us again. Yeah, okay. It's pretty big, Murktide too. Okay. We're getting somewhere, kind of. Gonna have to surveil. Kind of want to hit like a Wisp. If I drew these vials like a turn or two earlier than I did, I would feel a little bit... I guess if this vial was on 2, like, wouldn't even be a game, but... Alright, well, they aren't shuffling off the Brainstorm. Or maybe they have a Troll, I guess. don't really want another land here. Because I can already Lotus Petal my Karakas to cast this Yorion if I have to. I think I would much rather draw a potential real spell. Stone Forward, another Recruiter or something like that. Flicker Wisp. Well, now I'm even more glad. I guess that would have shuffled away the scrub land, but so what is the so I could take another 7 and cast the Yorion next turn to play around Daze, but I'm slightly more vulnerable to Bowmaster here because they get one more draw towards it. I feel like I just have to cast this Yorion and then hope that the next... What is this? Oh, yeah, Chaos of Days, yeah. Okay. Alright. Just gotta draw a good one next turn. After all the cantrips they've cast, it's hard to imagine Daze being the only protection spell, so I'm really kind of looking for specifically Wisp as a way to keep the Murktide from killing us next turn that I can put in off of Aether Vial. That exact thought is going through my head right now. I think that I do because I'm not even like playing towards a 5 at this point. Like if I draw a Solitude, I could just play the Karakas to play through Days anyway. So I'm pretty sure I leave these both on 3. Nope. I mean, I guess they never drew a Wasteland anyway, but those 3 Crocuses definitely hurt us there because we would have been at 6 lands casting that Yorion if we had if we hadn't what's it called? If we hadn't had to Lotus Petal or Karakas on like the 3rd or 4th turn or whatever. I definitely don't want Lightline in this matchup. I'm obviously not thrilled about Skyclave when Murktide and Troll are the threats that we've seen, but like, oh, this hand's good. Leyline, I just don't want dead draws like that and games that are going to go really long, especially when like Murktide or Leyline only works on Murktide if it's in your opener. You can't like cast Leyline after the fact and answer a Murktide because your opponent's probably put enough spells into their yard at that point that Murktide's still going to be at least like a 6/6 or a 7/7 or whatever. My opponent mulled to 6. Well, unlike the last hand, we are going to have much more stable mana this game, so... Would you quit thought-season me? Goodness. If there's a bluey secret lair, what would you want to be in it? That's a really good question. Solitude. So very likely Murktide is what they're going after. I am just going to slam this Stoneforge since we drew a Formalware. I really like that suggestion. I could see all right, I got a couple ideas. One is I would love a food token from Mini Bluey when they get back to breakfast and Bingo as Mini Bluey doesn't want her banana and peanut butter sandwich anymore. I could see I can imagine there's like some scene from Rug Island that would be pretty good as like a treasure cruise. Or there's not really a good there's no like constructed playable cards mentioning boulders really. Other than like there's like Boulder Loft Pathway maybe, but a what am I trying to say? A boulder themed card from when they're playing Raiders in what's that episode called? Yoga Ball, maybe. There's definitely an argument to play this around Days, but I also kind of like not play or playing it now to play around Consigned to Memory. So, yeah, I guess we get Lion Sash. We could also have gotten another Formalware, but I kind of like Lion Sash as a way to get rid of the troll. We're Dad plays too rough. Make them have the Reanimate for the troll right now. They wouldn't dare make mechanically unique Bluey cards. I wouldn't let them. $1 is a treasure token also. Oh, damn, Mangork and I are on the exact same page. Holy shit. That's some brainwaves right there. They bin a Daze. Fine by me. Oh, another one I thought of was what's the name of the episode where they're doing dance mode, that's what it's called. Imagine an expressive iteration in the scene where Bandit has to go, hello everyone, I want to make it clear I'm doing this for my kid. I think that would be a good expressive iteration. I mean, I can just Phantom Blade this troll right now and put them to 7, and I don't really care that the troll is still in their graveyard, because if they reanimate troll, they're just kind of dead. Yeah, that works for me. God, I love Stone Fortress Vigilance. It's just the coolest. um, they don't know anything. They know they do. No, they do. They didn't shuffle off of Ponder. I'm just gonna cast the White Orchid Phantom. I want to put pressure on when they're at 7. So I I feel like there's a couple different cards you could make out of the scene where Muffin as angry grumpy granny, whichever it is selling Doreen's scooter to the other grumpy granny for like $1,300 or whatever. You could do like greed, you could do anger. I feel like there's a lot of cards you could make out of that scene. Hell yeah. Oh, and how could I forget Stalking Tiger with chili and bingo from asparagus, which is a sentence that will make sense to some people. Look, Bluey's a good show. I suggest watching it. For those unaware, Harry is or at least he used to play Maverick all the time. I think, actually, the last time I talked to him, he might have been playing Nadu. Oh, no, we're doing something totally different. Got it. You do not need small children to enjoy Bluey. It's just good television. Yeah. I do recall that the last time he was in my chat, I asked him how Maverick was going, and he said Maverick is unplayable. I think he was playing Nadu at the time, but this makes sense. Let's see. I'm just gonna let him cast a spell just to count how many Poxwalkers are in his deck, and that'll probably be it. It's usually 5 total creatures between Narcomoebas and Poxwalkers, so we'll see. Yep. Oh, there's 3 bridges. Holy shit! I missed that. I missed that. Or no. Oh no. He just cast Dread Return first because he's right. Because I'm obviously dead. Okay. Just kidding. Okay. Uh, I will move these Path of Exiles and this Urian over here, and then drag the rest of this in. And we'll get rid of the Sword Splashers, and we'll get rid of the Phantom Blade and the Formal Wear and the Loran and the Bowmasters. Probably 1 Skyclave, something like that. I'm not missing anything, right? That's usually what I've been doing. Yeah, we got oopsed. If you don't know what getting oopsed entails in terms of the specific cards, I can explain it more, but we very much got oopsed. I thought sees we can't cast. Nope. I can probably live with this. I don't love Mindbreak Trap versus Oops, but I think it's better than mulling this 5, I think. Especially when we have 2 good 2-drops to play. I guess 3. Disruptor Flute's pretty good too. Yeah, we'll keep this bottom the Recruiter. And just not get Thoughtseize. The Dread Return is for Thassa's Oracle. Oh, thank God. All right, we have a shot. I I will keep that on top. I don't think it's going to be what I'm casting. I think I'm going to cast the White Orchid Phantom. But it's worth thinking about. Yeah, I'm just going to White Orchid. Every time I cast a Thoughtseize versus Oops, their hand is like absurdly Thoughtseize proof for a Glass Cannon combo deck. Glass Cannon is in at least one set of quotation marks because, oh my god, this deck is like so hard to beat with hate. Alright, I would really like to draw another land so I can Thoughtseize and hold up Flute next turn. I have at least some hope that he doesn't have a Thoughtseize because he probably would have cast it on turn 1 if he did. So this Mindbreak Trap might get us out of some trouble. So it's spell 2. Unfortunately, that as spell 2 might mean that we're cooked. He stacked it wrong, but it's not going to matter. Yeah, Mindbreak Trap really only works against Oops if they need to cast 2 spells and then play their Oops creature, but Spirit Guides make that a lot harder. Yeah, it is it's way too bad. Like, I think you need it, but it's also frustrating how weak it ends up being. No, there's another therapy right here. Oh, that is true. They don't. Thassa's Oracle is in their hand, so they have to. Okay, okay. In that case, so we're racing then, because now he doesn't have any therapies left, right? Yeah, no therapies left. So I don't think we're going to win this race, but oh yeah, right. We can right, cuz yeah, it was like just putting that together in my head. We trap this, they can dread return to put some amount of power into play, but then we flute journey and they die on their draw step, yeah. It's 3 cards in hand, there's 0 cards in library. And we're gonna make sure that it stays at 0. I'm no. I guess I have to do this. And if he has Force of Vigor in his hand, we just lose. But he doesn't, so we're good. No, they hadn't journeyed yet. Um, they still had a journey to cast. They didn't have the mana to do it that turn, which spelled their demise. Notably was not on Belcher. He was on Faulted Form's latest list that just plays 8 Force of Vigors, which means actually that I want to get these Skyclaves out of my deck. Good enough. Yeah, let's just get a ley line, and it'll be a lot smoother. Hey, it's a ley line. And a Thoughtseize. That's actually really nice, because I get to ley line and then Thoughtseize a potential Force of Vigor before they can cast it. Sorry, that's a lie. That's literally not how that works. I didn't say that. That is just wrong. I didn't say anything. The important thing is that they can't Force of Vigor and go off on turn 1. My microphone is... Oh. Yes, of course. I also wish it worked like the thing I didn't say. Wouldn't that be nice? Are we getting Thoughtseized? Yeah. Goodbye to our Thoughtseize. Let's just draw another Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize bug a Thoughtseize. No, that's so far off what I was asking for. Do I want to cast Vial, or do I just want to Surveil? No, I want a Vial. If I draw, I think the important thing with getting Vial out now is it means that land 3 means we get to go cast Recruiter Vial in. Never mind. Cast Recruiter Vial in White Orchid is what I was going to say, but that is not going to happen because now our Recruiter is going to get therapied. Alright, a lot of mana over there. But no answers to Leyline yet. Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, I'll just take Informer so that they're, yeah. Now they need to find an answer for Leyline and an Oops creature. Mm-hmm. Everyone truly is on Oops. I mean, The problem is every card that destroys artifacts and enchantments destroys two, but well, okay, I have 3 hate permanents in play. Yeah, they knew about Solitude, so I'm guessing the Solitude is about to get thought seized here before I take my Vial up to 5. Or not. Okay, fine by me. Cool. They're playing 4 Force of Vigor, 4 Wear Down. The only 4 green cards on top of that are Elvish Spirit Guides. But they also have Lotus Petals for green sources, specifically for the Wear Down. I'm just gonna... I'll Vial in the Solitude. Yes, Mind Break Trap plus Deafening Silence. Unbeatable combo. I specifically did not put Yorin in my hand because I knew my opponent had Thoughtseize. So my plan was to Vial in the Solitude and then Vial in the Yori on the turn after that without it ever being exposed to Thoughtseize. Ouch. No, I'd rather have something more real than that. It obviously like kills the Undercity Informer, but I just don't think that really matters. Okay, sure. Mind Break Trap it is. Yep. It might have been better to keep it just to kill the Informer. I don't think we can lose. It's going to be annoying if my Yorion gets killed from Foul the Profane. Rats. Alright, one more land and I can cast this Cauldron. Um, them trading is probably better for us. I was mostly coming at it from the perspective of like, um, there are cards we could draw that would give us lethal if we keep the Solitude in play, but maybe we're supposed to just not let them have the Informer. Um, yeah, I'll force the trade now, especially since I have lethal in play. I was probably supposed to force the trade when I drew the second creature last turn. All right. Yeah, I think once we drew the first Phantom, we should have just offered the trade. I think I agree with that. All right, gang. Can we get my first trophy in an eternity? We'll see. GG's, Harry. I can't believe I was so foolish as to go into that match thinking you were playing a fair deck. Um, I don't want to say Phelia. No, Phelia is the truth. No, Phelia is the truth for me. I have tried time and time again to make that card. I've given that card a lot of chances to be as good for me as it seems to be being for a lot of other people who are playing the Phelia Overlord lists. I just can't make it work, and instead of just like being miserable about it, I've just decided that I'm dumb, I'm cursed, maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. It's just not for me. Yeah, fair decks are bad now. It's like as soon as you played the first Boggart Bog, I was like thinking back to the last time you were in my chat, and I asked how Maverick was going, and you said Maverick is like dog shit, unplayable or whatever, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess that this is the natural conclusion of that, isn't it? I think you were playing Nadu at the time, but even Nadu seems to kind of not exist anymore. Oh, Moon Stompy. Um, this hand's okay. I like this hand a lot more if I get to cast this Thoughtseize. I'm gonna try it, but I'm far from excited about it. But he's mulling to 6 now. Now I'm mulling to 5. So chances of Thoughtseizing like a Fable the Mirror Breaker or something seem somewhat high. Deal. All good. What's up, Supra? How's it going? Another Solitude. Hell yeah. Just play a Bombardier. Just play a Bombardier. Or nothing. Hell yeah. Even better. Oh, we are gaming. Can I get a white source? No. Alright. I will recruit Weirdly, I would love to recruit for a fourth land. I think as it is, I'm just gonna get a Stoneforge. Yeah. Uh, Buffon Magic, whichever way it is. Thank you so much for the follow. How's it going? Is this a one ring? It is a one ring. Bleh. Okay, I really don't need any more solitudes. Thank you. Um, well, I will get a Cauldra. Kind of annoyed how much this Blood Moon is keeping me from like sending them to the Shadow Realm. Okay, cool. I can live with that. I'll just get rid of the White Orchid Phantom because if I have 2 white mana in play, all of my problems are solved. Huh? I mean, I see the logic that leads to this decision. My Cauldra is getting into play. There is so much more game to happen. I don't understand. Alright, get the hell out of here. Therapies and as many Bowmasters as I can get rid of, which is 2. My opponent is very well versed in Moon Stompy. I think they know exactly how powerful the One Ring is. I just I can't explain why they think that game is worth a concession unless they're the kind of person who just like as soon as they're like reasonably behind is just like over, which is in line with a lot of the way that I feel like Moon Stompy players play Magic. So I like having Solitude. This is very weak to Blood Moon, but doesn't really care about Magus of the Moon. Vial is pretty good, but we're not vialing anything that matters for a while. This hand is really upset about a turn 1 Fable, but like what D&T hand isn't? It's the type of game you would concede if you were speed running a Moon Stompy League. That makes sense. Like I said, I see the logic that leads there, but that really seems like a pretty aggressive concession. I'll take it. It's my trophy match, but I feel like this is just a little too weak to everything that they're potentially doing on turn 1 that I should mulligan. Wow, this is bad. This is just bad. Okay, this looks better. Put back Wasteland. Yeah, I guess Wasteland White Orchid. They're just going Mountain Pass. Gonna have my turn 1 hand back, or gonna have my 7 back. Ugh, brutal. This Bomba Fable. Okay. I don't want to surveil, I don't think, because I think I just want this to be a basic plains, so. Wow, I could have surveilled and made it a basic plains. Um, White Orchiding a city of traders feels a little stupid, but like, I don't know. I think that's just how this matchup goes, kind of. Like, every 1 mana you can take away from them is just kind of important to get to the next turn. And this is kind of taking away 2 because it means they can't just attack for free with the Goblin Shaman. Another Fable. Gross. I'm just going to get another Plains Skyclave the Fable on 1. And then I'm a little vulnerable to like a Bomba off the top, but I think I live with that. I guess probably the thing I'm actually weakest to would be a One Ring, because the Skyclave would be an answer for it, but gross. Always Fury. Okay, all right. I don't need to play that one. I think I'm actually thinking about it. I wonder if I'm supposed to keep Cauldron over Bowmasters. I just want as few black cards in my deck as possible, and I used to not really care about the clock in this matchup, but I think I need to care about it more because of the One Ring. So I think that actually makes sense. All right. God. Okay. Okay. I can roll with this. Keep this. Put back one of the lands, maybe one of the flutes. I guess I don't really need 2 flutes because I mostly just want the proactive flute is good for the One Ring. The reactive flute is mostly for stuff like Fable of the Mirror or Reflection of Kiki Jiki that I have like swords to remove. So I think that I can just get rid of 1 flute. He's going to 6. Stays at 6. Okay. I don't think I'm going to play this White Orchid Phantom on turn 2, so I am safe to surveil here and dig for something good. It's a black source, but I don't really need one. No, I don't want another land. Not yet. That makes me feel a lot better about binning that Marsh Flats, because now we have a basic black source. Mm-hmm. Okay. 1 damage. You got it. I don't really want to swords this. What's in their hand? Well, I think I'm going to go into the next turn with 3 mana up anyway, so... I could Flute One Ring there. They do sometimes play Fiery Cannonade. Or not Fiery Cannonade, Fiery Compliments. But I think at this point now, I just want to throw it on the One Ring. Ooh. Yeah, I like that. Chalice and Dead Gone. I'll put this into play now. Get rid of the Ancient Tomb again, just cut them off of a mana. They cycle both, which doesn't surprise me. It's dead, yeah, okay. I'm swordsing something. I'm just not sure which. I think I have to swords the Pyroglyph. I don't really love giving them mana, but I think I just have to live with that. Because 5 damage is just so much. And hopefully we draw a land and we can Solitude next turn. Perfect. Bombardiers. Okay. I think I just... So it's a... I'm taking 4, I go to 9. They could throw this at me to put me to 4. I think I just have to let them attack me here, unfortunately. Hopefully they just like throw a treasure. But I think they're smarter than that because they know that I'm holding up this mana for a Solitude, so... So I have to get rid of the Reflection, and then we just need to draw an answer for the Bombardiers, or we are dead. I guess we aren't literally dead, but we're basically dead. Yikes. Alright. Are we literally or basically dead? We are extremely dead. Okay. Alright. Naturally, our first trophy run in a long time dies to Moon Stompy. I feel like that league finally made my deck like, for all that I've been losing a lot, my deck has felt competent, and I feel like that league finally like made that real, which was kind of nice. Obviously, losing to Moon Stompy sucks, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Their their hand in game 2 was kind of nuts, and game 3 I felt was mostly a normal-ish game that just didn't really go my way. Imagine if I had Containment Priest against those Fables. I guess they had a Dead Gone, but still. Just imagine if I had a Containment Priest. I don't think it would have mattered in these matches. I still maybe want to find room for one Fairy Macabre in this list. I feel like it would have to come from either doing something like going down to 3 Wisps and putting like a Path to Exile main to get a Fairy Macabre, or just like straight up cutting one of the Disruptor Flutes. But I just keep being more pleased with Disruptor Flute than I really expected to be. So I kind of like the 2 copies. Everything else feels like it kind of has to stay. I could maybe cut a Mindbreak Trap, but it is pretty bad against Oops. Could maybe just cut the traps and just play totally different cards. And generally I like diversifying my hate against those decks, because like it's concerning to have only permanent based hate against a deck with Force of Vigor in it, but I don't know. I mean, we saw in that game 2 against Oops why Trap is actually pretty bad against them. It sometimes works, but it's like very inconsistent, which is unfortunate. So if it's going to be like barely good against Oops, maybe one of the traps is just a Fairy, because you get more in other matchups too. Who knows? Didn't really get to cast many therapies today. That's how it goes sometimes. The Moon Stompy matchup is probably the one that I'm losing the most, not having Phelia and Overlord, but I just can't get those cards to work for me, and I'm over it. So I might just have to make up for that some other way. I've thought about maybe finding room for like a 3rd Path to Exile. I don't really know where that would come from, but that's something I think about. But yeah, I think that's it. Nice. I'm up to 10 QP. I'm totally gonna make the showcase this weekend. I was never planning on playing in the showcase. I didn't know that it was one until like 2 hours ago, but my plans are unchanged. So I think that is gonna do it for us here tonight, gang. Let me see if there's anybody else. There is. Evram is on. Let me go raid them. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. If you're new to the stream, thank you. I hope you had a good time. I stream some flavor of D&T and Legacy every Thursday and Sunday, starting around 8:30-ish Eastern. You can find VODs for all my streams on my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on my Patreon, where I post things like where I manage a monthly updated sideboard guide, along with some high-level articles, high-level strategy articles about D&T, things like that. So if you're interested all in that, please check them out. You can type Patreon and YouTube into the chat, I believe, to get those links. I think they've been flying around too in some of the alerts that I have set up. So anyway, that's going to be it for me. We're going to go raid Haran. He's a Stifle Not gamer. Looks like he's doing something